Good morning and welcome to PNW Athletics Today. I am Rick Costello, Director of Athletics and the host for this show. We have an outstanding show ahead featuring coaches and staff from the Purdue Northwest Athletics program. But before we meet our special guest, let's go inside the pride. PNW Athletics is 23 sports and 530 student athletes, and we just finished our 9th year in NCAA Division II competition. I want to start off with a great year. Academically, we had a 3.31 GPA in the fall, which we set a milestone, a great record. It was our 20th semester in a row above a 3.0 GPA. So that's 10 straight years. We've got great students. With big thanks to our faculty and our staff for creating such an awesome learning environment at Purdue Northwest, and so proud of the hardworking, tough, gritty, smart student athletes that we have here at Purdue Northwest. Recently, we had Day of Giving, and it was an all-time high for Purdue Northwest Athletics, raised $508,000, $508,000, over $500,000. That's an all-time high for PNW Athletics. We set the benchmark for the university. It was the highest amount raised by any unit at the university on 1,557 gifts. Also an all-time record for the university, the highest amount of gifts for the university. My congrats to our students, coaches, and staff that got out there in the marketplace, and big thanks to our generous donors, corporate champions, alums, and supporters for their generosity and their help making it a great day of giving. A shout out to our Office of Institutional Advancement led by Vice Chancellor Lisa Goodnight, Lisa Schneider, and that whole team just did a magnificent job. So we're just so proud of those results. Again, over $500,000 raised for Purdue Northwest Athletics on Day of Giving. Earlier this semester, Chad Patrick, we retired his jersey. Of course, Chad played baseball for us here, was GLIAC Pitcher of the Year. He is now a starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. So what a big, great day for Purdue Northwest as Chad came and spoke, and Coach Griffin, and we had all kinds of alums and family and friends turn out for the retirement of Chad Patrick's jersey. Next year, we are going to be the Lions, rebranding as the Lions. Big shout out to Chancellor Holford on his exciting vision for the university and for athletics. It's a great time to rebrand, ushering in a new era of strength, resiliency, and opportunity for the university. So effective July 1st, we will be the Purdue Northwest Lions. June 22nd is our PNW golf outing, a incredible fundraiser, our largest single day fundraiser over at Briar Ridge Country Club. Not much space left in the golf tournament. So if you would like to come out and golf, or if you want to provide a host sponsorship or a sponsorship, come on out. Check us out online at pnwathletics.com. All the information for the golf tournament is there, but it's June 22nd, the day after Father's Day, at beautiful Briar Ridge Country Club, the Powers Purdue Northwest Golf Outing. It's the 46th annual outing. Again, a big fundraiser for scholarships for student athletes. All right, some athletic highlights for the year. Men's soccer made their 6th consecutive trip to the GLIAC playoffs. Women's soccer, 4th consecutive trip. Women's volleyball, 3rd consecutive trip to the GLIAC playoffs, and also tied the record for most wins at the Division II level with 13 wins. Cross country was led by first-year head coach Zach Hoover, and he had a magnificent year leading our cross country and track and field programs. The cross country team was led by Jalen Streetemeyer of Highland, Indiana. He won the Spartan Invite. And then Miriam Dorr led our women's program. She had the 2nd fastest time in school history at the GLIAC Championships. Our men's ice hockey this year went to the national tournament for the 3rd consecutive year, and we're ranked 16th in the nation. Cooper Olson, goalie on our men's ice hockey program, signed a professional contract with the Indiana Sentinels. So he becomes the first Purdue Northwest hockey player to sign a pro contract. Congrats, Cooper. Men's ice hockey, our Division II team had a magnificent year. They won the NCHL regular season championship with a 21-7 record. Tom Pauly was named Coach of the Year. And, of course, we hosted the regionals at the Cube, and it was our first regionals appearance for our Division II hockey program. Congrats to those ice hockey student athletes. Men's basketball, under first-year head coach Jordan Ashton, had a magnificent season. They had the most ever wins in our Division II history. So congrats to Coach Ashton and our Cagers. Esports had a fabulous year. They were runner-up in Overwatch in the NECC Division IV tournament. So congrats to our esports student athletes. Indoor track and field also had a fantastic showing. Lucas Bass was the GLIAC champion in the long jump. So congrats to Lucas on all his fine athletic and student work. Elena Schultz was second in the pentathlon. So congrats to Elena. That wrapped up our winter season, and as we moved into the spring, men's tennis, 4 years in a row in the GLIAC playoffs. We'll be talking with Coach Hepper here in a little bit. Flag football celebrated their inaugural season under Coach Micah Lowe in the spring and went 9-3. So congrats to our newest team on campus. Stunt, under first-year head coach Marshall Smith, had a fantastic season. They reached the GLVC tournament championship round, and then they finished 6th in the nation. We'll hear all about this great stunt season from Coach Smith in a few moments. Our outdoor track and field, Kelly Weber was 3rd in the heptathlon at the GLIAC championships, and Eli Bauman was GLIAC champ in the javelin. So congrats to Eli. And softball just wrapped up last weekend under first-year head coach Claire Shapker. Was 3rd in the GLIAC tournament, but I got to tell you, it was the most exciting tournament. They had comeback wins over Wayne State. They knocked out Grand Valley, and a huge comeback win over Davenport. Won 30 games on the season. A phenomenal season for our softball program. Let's give some big thanks to our corporate champions. It takes a village to support intercollegiate athletics, and we really appreciate all the generosity in the local community. Domino's, Byway Brewery, a big shout out to Phil Sane over at Byway Brewery. Berglund Construction, thank you, Jeff Berglund. Purdue Federal Credit Union, shout out to Jeff Love. Crew Car Wash, thank you, Wendy Mudis, for your support. Bowman Displays, Buffalo Wild Wings, Play It Again Sports, MJ Polish Deli, People's Bank, Laborers Local 41, a shout out to Scott Sparks and all his generosity. Crazy Kaplan provides our fireworks for our golf tournaments, a exciting raffle prize. Kyle Dempsey State Farm, House of Pizza, Modisol, Signature Transportation, Courtyard Residence Inn, Fairfield Inn, Hampton Inn, Holiday Inn, and Home 2 Suites are our hotel partners. Langle's Pizza, thank you, Rodney Langle, with all your support and just amazing pizza when you go down there to Langle's. South Shore CVA, thanks, Phil Talon, Lithographics, Miller Pizza, Reith Riley, Wintrust, NIPSCO, a big shout out to Rick Kalinsky, thanks for all your support. Strack Van Til, thank you, Jeff Strack, for your amazing support. Bibby Bop, Spark Marketing, Super Submarine, the newest corporate champion, right there on Kennedy Avenue in Hammond. Rush Physical Therapy, and finally, Orthopedic Specialists of Northwest Indiana. If you would like to be a corporate champion or support PNW Athletics, please call me, Rick Costello, at 219-989-2539. All right, that wraps up our first segment. We will be back in a few moments with some coaches and staff. Welcome back to PNW Athletics Today. I'm Rick Costello, the host for the show and director of athletics. I am joined in studio by some members of our coaching staff and our staff. Let's go down to the end here. We got Sean Douglas, volleyball coach. Sean, good morning.
Good morning, Rick. How we doing?
We are doing great. You're eye-spying that T-shirt up there on the wall.
Look at that, man. Gary Grizzlies, whatever you want to call them, is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the T-shirt behind us, I don't know if we can quite catch it on camera. It says the Northwest Indiana Bears. So we're loving that T-shirt.
Got that in a 3XL. I'll take it.
We got Joey Scott to my left here, assistant AD for athletic communications. Good morning, Joey.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
All right. It's great to have you on the show, and you're not hosting.
I'm not hosting, no, so I'll let you do that job.
All right. To my right, we have Natalie Hornbuckle, women's ice hockey coach. How are you, Natalie?
Good. How are you?
I am good. And then Sel Hepper, our tennis coach. Good morning, Sel.
Good morning, Rick. How are you?
All right. Thanks, guys, for joining me for the round table here. We're just going to have a conversation about college sports. All right. So the first thing I want to know from Sean Douglas is, we're wrapping up the year. What was your favorite moment of the year?
Favorite moment of the year? I was listening outside as you rattled off all the great things that Purdue Northwest did this way, and I just think it's fun. I mentioned this to you yesterday in our meeting, just looking down the hallway and just seeing the success of all the programs over the last 4 years and just how it's grown has been incredible.
Sure has. And Sean, you have just completed your 4th year as volleyball coach. Took us to the playoffs every year and had the most wins, tied the record for the most wins this past year. So congrats on a great season.
Thank you. That was our first recruiting class. They just went through 4 years. So how they just changed the trajectory of this program has been really amazing.
How fast did that 4 years fly by?
Flew by. Yeah, I looked at them. It's the gym feels weird now because those 4 years, those girls, 7 seniors just graduated, but the gym feels empty a little bit. But at the same time, all these new girls are now stepping up, finding their voices. So I'm really excited for the fall.
All right. So, Joey, you do all kinds of amazing work on our website,
I try.
our graphics, our social media. You run all of our games. I believe you're going into just complete your 4th year.
Yeah, going into year 5.
Going into year 5. What was your, if you had to narrow it down, I'm sure you probably have a top 50, but if you could give us maybe the top moment of the year.
Oh, gosh. But there's so many great moments that we've had. Men's basketball and what they accomplished this year in the first-year head coach, Jordan Ashton, and what they were able to do in his first year. Volleyball, always having a great year. Getting a win at Fair State, or getting a set win at Fair State on the road in the conference tournament, making noise there was really great. Seeing what flag football did in their first season, too, with Micah was really great. Baseball and softball getting back into the postseason as well was great to see. And the run that softball just had was
fun.
It was nerve-wracking and anxiety-driven, but we got through it. It was a lot of fun to watch.
All right. Natalie, you're just about wrapping up your first year here. What was the high mark for you?
I think going to nationals with the boys team. That was a lot of fun.
All right.
Short and sweet.
Sal, what was the top moment for you this year?
Going to conference with the boys, making it to the semis, probably was my highlight. It was a great moment. Always happy to cheers with them.
Yep. And I believe you've just completed your 2.5, right?
Two
you got a half in there.
3 seasons,
Yes.
2.5 years. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about recruiting to Purdue Northwest. We're going to start with women's ice hockey. Natalie, you joined us last summer with the goal to recruit a women's ice hockey team for next fall of 26. You have done amazing work. Tell folks about the success that you've had on the recruiting front.
We just signed our 17th girl last Monday. Allie, she's from Thunder Bay, Ontario. Probably like half and half, I think, between the States and Canada. And I think just the championship culture here, we want to win. We're winners here, so that's easy to sell.
There we go. So 17 student athletes, and I know you're working on a few more for the first season. And a number from the States, a number from Canada. You've got to be excited to get them here on campus.
I can't wait. I am so excited. I get texts probably once or twice a week from different kids. We can't wait to be here. We can't wait to move in. We can't wait to start. So we're all excited.
Yep. Sal, you have recruited again for almost 2.5 years for us, and prior to that, when you were a graduate assistant here, talk about the recruiting that you do.
Sorry. Yeah. It's all around. I think we have to like reach out for tennis. We have a lot of like international recruiting for tennis, but also I try to expand my connections with a lot of local recruiting. We have a new local player coming up next year, so I'm very excited for that. Trying to reach out more Chicago, more Indiana, and just expanding a little bit more. It's really exciting. It's really exciting to see like how the program is growing and we're getting more attention over the years.
That's great. Sean, you've been at this for a number of years. What sells Purdue Northwest when you're recruiting?
Well, it's interesting. I was actually thinking about that, listening to them and what they're doing. When we took over the local scene, people weren't interested in Purdue Northwest. You know, it was a growing school. It only been in D2 for 5 years. And so we did a lot of out-of-state recruiting to start, like a lot of California kids, Texas, Colorado, to name a few, Iowa, obviously Illinois, out of state, but it's right there. So I think that what's now with the culture changing, I think we used to sell, Purdue degree is huge, right? So we get really smart student athletes, which it makes all of our lives easier because we're not chasing kids to make sure their homework is done. Now we changed it. It's what we like. Kind of they said it before. Is like we recruit winners. Like you're here to win. You're going to get a great degree, and the proof is in the pudding. So now a lot of local kids. We're getting more local emails than ever before. I mean, before we couldn't get a local kid. Now they want to come to us, and we're turning them away. So I think the shift in just the athletics department alone has been amazing.
Talk about guys the high level of athletics competition that we're involved in. The GLIAC, ACHA. Sean, why don't you kick it off? How tough the competition is.
Well, like you said, they have a 50-year head start on us, right? But
yes.
You have nationally recognized institutions in our conference, and I'm not trying to do a sell job for them, Right. But I think that's what makes it more amazing is they had a 50-year head start. You've got just national powerhouses in Fair State, Grand Valley, Wayne State, these schools, and then they invest, they find sports is a big part of their culture. And I think for us, it started as academics is a big part of our culture, which is always number one in priority at our school. But now it's shifted. We compete with those teams. We beat those teams, Claire just beat Grand Valley. Like that is a massive win. So we're catching up. Like they got a big head start, but I think we're catching up. And those teams look in the rearview mirror. And I think this is really funny. We played Wayne State our first year, and we had to open up over at Westville, and you were at that game, right? Yep. We still had that old man ref who blew the game for us. We won't talk about that, but we took them to 5, and their coach is losing it. He's like, "What? Why is Purdue Northwest good now?" And going on. So they even said to later, I found out they didn't even scout us. Because they just like, oh, it's Purdue Northwest, we're fine. And now teams are like, wait, we better be ready for what's coming. And I think it's just super exciting just to see that culture shift because we're recruiting student athletes, but I'm in the winning business. So I want kids who want to come in here, kick the door down and say like, we're not afraid of anybody. And I think that's really fun.
Joey, you witness it up close and personal, the high level of competition and how our entire athletic program is raised up.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see the turnaround since I've been here with the past 4 years. I know me and Sean came at the same time, and when to still talk about volleyball, the growth that they've seen. Because what was it, 5 wins your first year, something like that? It was.
Oh no, we had 9 wins my
9
first
wins,
year. Come on, Joey.
They
had 9 D2 wins in 5 years before I got here.
And then he brought it up. He brought it up to double digits.
Right. Yeah.
Then he brought it to double digits, and he's beating teams that teams like he said, the teams like, oh gosh, it's Purdue Northwest, and now women's soccer is doing the same thing. Mary Whistler's doing a fantastic job in the turnaround she's had in her 4 years here. Luke Dunn getting a first GLIAC team championship on his first year as head coach here. And now Jordan, beating teams like Northern Michigan and Ferris State en route to get to the GLIAC tournament. It's crazy to think of what we're doing in the GLIAC, one of the top conferences in the country at a bunch of different sports, and seeing how well our student athletes are competing with them and not scared, take them on head to head.
Yep. Let's talk about everybody's favorite subject, the transfer portal. Okay, so Sel, what do you think about the transfer portal? Good, bad, or indifferent?
I think it's good for the players, so they're open for the new experiences, and that gives them like more goals to grow and get better. But for the program culture, I think it's affecting, especially for D2, because if you want to make sure they're students first and then athletes, so that's kind of damaging the effect of the new transfer portal, because they always want to look more, they always want to they're now becoming more athletes. So I don't know, I think for D1 aspect, it's okay, but D2, I think we need some modifications. It has to be a little bit more balanced up there.
Yeah. Natalie, I know that ACHA, American Collegiate Hockey Association, does not have a transfer portal. However, you've been peeking at the transfer portal to fill up a roster. So what do you think about the transfer portal?
I love it. I mean, coming in, building a program from scratch, like you have that whole pool of women that are looking for somewhere to go. So it's easy to reach out. They got their email right there.
Yeah, there we go. Sean, give us another perspective.
It's getting there. I know D1 is trying to pass this 5 years rule. I think that they're trying to corral because it has been out of control, especially Division One. It offers, it's good and bad. I think some kids think the grass is always greener when it's not. So we try to recruit kids for 4 years, not like, hey, come try it out. If you don't like it, you can always leave. I don't think that's a great model to live by. And I'm more interested in developing a student athlete for 4 years as opposed to just renting them for a year and they might go. So I think how you talk and how you build your culture is super important, but we also just picked up a middle blocker in the transfer portal, and she just walked in. I mean, starts hugging kids, wants to be part of our culture. So I think that when you see the good parts of it, it's really, really good.
Okay, so Division One, I think any day now is going to approve 5-year eligibility. Yep. There's also a lot of talk about limiting transfers to just one time. Your thoughts?
We're getting there. It's better.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard some stories where kids will get NIL money to D1 school, go there for the spring, and it's a fall sport. And then before the spring's even over, they just transfer out, take that money. And I think that's just, it's skewed. I think it was a good thing, a good plan. It's skewed way too far one way. I think we're getting back to the middle again. I think that's a good thing.
Joey, your thoughts on 5-year eligibility and transfer portal?
I like it. And no more 28-year-olds playing college football. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay. So why don't we talk about rule changes? Are there any rule changes that you all would like to see in your sports? Sean, I can see you have a thought.
Would like to see. We actually have a bunch of major rule changes this fall coming in.
Okay.
So I think COVID was obviously terrible for a lot of different reasons, but I like this is so weird that you'd stay on your side of the gym. You wouldn't have to switch sides every single time. You're driving like a kid. Your trainer's trying to walk by. You're awkwardly passing a coach that you may or may not like, right? So now we stay for the first 2 sets, then you switch for the next 2 sets, and then in the 5th set you coin flip. So we've kind of eliminated that.
That's good.
We've gone from 15 subs to 18 subs this fall, which is just more opportunity to be, I don't know. You can be a little more specific with what you want to do.
Scorekeeper's nightmare.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So we'll have 18 now. I think the last few years adding instant replay has been a game changer for us, right? I mean, more headache for Joey, unfortunately, and sometimes Wi-Fi is not your friend, and I understand that. But I think let's get the calls right. And I know your big concern was to slow the game down too much. I think they've done a pretty good job of moving it along. So I've been happy with those rule changes so far.
Any rule changes, ladies, that you'd like to see?
I'm happy with everything. No problem.
All right.
No major change.
Natalie, anything that you can think of?
No, not really. I mean, I think instant replay would be cool for hockey games when we have goals that.
Joey, how would you
Go
feel
either
about
way.
instant replay for hockey?
I know you'd love that,
It's
Joey.
a nightmare. You'd think about volleyball was fun. Hockey's just a different
Get a camera in that net.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Pulling right above the net, Joe.
Right in the net.
So I think our fans and spectators that are watching our Flow Sport games, which are really well done by Joey and his team, have this expectation that it's going to be like an ESPN broadcast, and the replay is going to have 90 different angles, and it's going to go to the finest. So talk about how you guys pull off replay.
I mean, it's all based off the program we use and what we've been using. The 4-camera program that I've been using with basketball and volleyball with Sean, and that we're able to make it work. It's all also Ethernet based. A lot of it's not Wi-Fi. So that's also a plus because you get faster speeds with the Ethernet. But sometimes depends on your computer, because sometimes the computer can't handle that too much broadband. But we were able to make that work too. I think this past year with volleyball, I know through the first year we tried to had some ups and downs, but this year was a lot more consistent, thankfully, because I was able to figure out some tweaks that I was able to do. Got some good calls on our end.
Yeah, we did.
And sometimes it went the other way. But again, replay, it's going to be there for every sport. But right now, I know with basketball and volleyball, it's been working out really well for us. And we're able to make it work. And people say that Purdue Northwest, our broadcasts are, very professional, high grade, and they think very highly of us against our other counterparts.
Yeah,
So.
well done. You and Andrew do magnificent work.
Thank you.
Okay, so I got one final question, and then we're going to move on to the next group of coaches. Now you guys are coaches, so you're at sporting events all the time. But if you, on your bucket list, if you could go to any sporting event, anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, what sporting event would it be that you would go to? Let's start with Joey.
Oh,
All right, let's not start with Joey. Let's go to Natalie
I
here.
feel like I have to say like a Stanley Cup playoff game or a Stanley Cup final, but
Okay.
I think baseball would be fun too.
Really?
Yeah.
World Series?
Yeah,
Okay. Any
Yeah.
specific teams you'd want to see
I'm
play?
a Cubs fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. You're off to a good start
might
this
be
year.
another
Yeah,
100
we
years.
Joey saying it might be a
Joey's
few
salty.
years there.
Salty.
Sean, where would you, if you could go to any sporting event?
That's a tough one. I think it's wild. Like going to sporting events is fun, but I think like this is going to be a crazy answer. TV is so good now,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Honestly, I'd rather stay home with my family and watch it on TV. Order me a deep dish pizza. Then it's on me. You know, like the hassle. I mean, unless you're covering this event, then that's fine. We'll put on the P card, right? I'd rather stay home. Like how boring that
All right,
is.
we're going
Like
to find a way to get you to a Bears game.
Right.
Like back
I mean-
in the 80s when you went.
now, does time frame matter? Now, I went to the
Sure.
Super Bowl in 1985.
Okay.
I was in third grade.
How was that experience?
I was in third grade, so it was awesome. I remember refrigerator Perry shirt on, right? It was in New Orleans, so
Okay.
my grandpa made sure I was looking straight ahead and not to the side, so it was very interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Sal, what sporting event, if you could go to anyone?
So this year, USA is hosting World Cup. So any World Cup match I can make it. It would be
Okay.
great.
All right.
I think that's the first thing on top of my list, but tickets are extremely expensive.
Yeah.
I
I was
they were
expecting
actually-
Wimbledon sell. Wimbledon,
Yes.
right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
This is-
No Wimbledon, huh?
I'm such a huge soccer fan.
Okay.
So since it's here, that's on top of my list. It's gonna be amazing.
All right, Joey, what have you come up with now?
I really would love to go to an Olympics, the Summer Olympics somewhere. Maybe I know it's expensive for 2 weeks, so maybe just like go for a weekend. or
Rick's
a few
buying,
days.
by the way.
Rick's
so
buying.
whatever you want.
LA 2028.
2028.
That'd be fun.
'Cause every sport's gonna be playing there, so I would really like to go, even if it's out of country, to see like the culture and the people there. So I really would love to go to an Olympics one day. It'd be really cool.
All right. Well, that wraps up this segment. You have all had a great year with Purdue Northwest Athletics. We thank you for all your efforts, all your coaching of our student athletes, all your work on our media. It's summertime, so you guys get to relax a little bit and recruit some more. So thank you for being on this segment of the show.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome back to Purdue Northwest Athletics. I'm the host for the show, Rick Costello, and Director of Athletics. I am joined in studio by Colson Gordon, our head athletic trainer, just completed his first year. Good morning, Colson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. Marshall Smith, also to my right, first-year head coach of Stunt. Marshall, good morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
All right. Did you get any sleep with the baby at home last night?
I got a little bit.
All right.
Not too much.
Here we go. Our newest addition to our team here, Chris Vincent, head women's basketball coach. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. And last but not least, there we go. Mary Whistler, our head women's soccer coach. How are you, Mary?
I'm wonderful, Rick. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Let's talk a little college sports, and let's start off. We're wrapping up the year here. Mary, what was your favorite moment of the year?
I would say it was probably when we took down Ferris at home. We've been knocking on their door a little bit. Like they're a really good team, really hard team, and beating them first time in program history, but just kind of like helps us measure where we're at, where we're going, and so on. But being able to play with them and scoring a decisive win at home was really cool.
Mary just finished her fourth year leading our women's soccer program. You have raised the culture, the excellence of that program, have done a great job. You got to be so proud of what those women have accomplished.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, and all credit to them. Realistically, I'm just the recruiter, but putting the pieces together, it's all them and their belief in what we're trying to do. So thank you.
Chris Vincent joins us from Langston University,
Yes.
where you had an incredible run the last 2 years, if I recall correctly, 55-9.
Correct. Yeah.
And made some deep postseason runs. You've coached at Yale, Delaware. We're so pleased to have you here.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining our team.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching is a crazy thing. One moment you're in Oklahoma, the next moment you're in Indiana. But what was your
Yeah.
favorite moment of the year?
Well, for Purdue Northwest, my favorite moment of the year has been about 9 days. So probably when I first got into the office and sat down. But no, the best moment for the year was achieving our back-to-back conference tournament this year. And that kind of encompassed what we did in a 2-year frame of seeing the impact it had on the community and the school, and really just having that vision when I decided that this was the next home. What that could do here, and just seeing the family environment, the interactions with the coaches, and the community involvement was so important. And I can just kind of see where this can be headed, at least, and that really intrigues me.
Exciting. Well, I know you're off to a great start.
Appreciate
Recruiting. We'll talk about that in a second. Marshall Smith, you had a phenomenal first year as head coach of Stunt. Go ahead. Tell us what stands out in your mind.
I mean, making it to the national tournament was awesome. Just making it there, and then somehow finding a way to the quarterfinals and beating Concordia Irvine was unbelievable. I mean, we started that game down 6-2, and then we were down by 2 going into the final round. Took 2 points, went to overtime, and started with a routine that Concordia Irvine historically has won almost every single point. They never dropped those points. We took 2 from them. We won the game. I would have never predicted it, to be totally honest, but it was a really nice surprise. And if you watch that film back, you'll see how excited everybody was.
So I think Colson wants to talk about the post-game celebration of that game. Oh, he's taking the fifth on that one. All right, there was quite the post-game celebration. Watching that game, the comeback was immense. It was just amazing to see the momentum swing. And for fans that have not seen Stunt, 2 teams are competing at the same time, and then a ref walks to the center of the mat and points one direction or the other for who gets the points. And I was just on the edge of my seat. And when she pointed towards us at the last play of regulation to send it into overtime, I mean, that was just incredible. And then the same thing happened in overtime. So it's something I'll never forget.
Yeah, that's burned into my brain for sure.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was really cool. Colson just completed your first year as head AT. That means you're in charge of the health and safety of 530 student athletes. Tell us what stands out to you.
Honestly, the 2 moments Mary and Marshall just pointed out were kind of the ones that kind of stuck with me this season. the game against Ferris was crazy because I know we were kind of a little bit of a skid, and then we came back and just fought and fought and fought. Had a couple girls come out, had a chance to get them back in, and they just made big plays and won with, I think, only a few minutes left, and it was just such an exciting game. And then the same again with Stun. That game, we had a lot of girls that were, fighting through some injuries, hurting pretty bad, just long season, to just be able to kind of see them fight for the, Purdue Northwest and, get some big wins for us was just exciting to see, and just, very heartfelt and very, very nice. Yeah.
Excellent. So they say recruiting is the lifeblood of a college athletics program. Mary, you're on a roll. You've got 3 D1 commits this semester. Tell us about all this great success and how it is to recruit to Purdue Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Purdue degree has helped drastically, especially when players are leaving, transferring from a D1 and choosing where they want to actually fit athletically and where they want to play and what their impact they want, and that's all personal for them. But realistically, the Purdue degree helps them sell, like, wherever they go from here, they're going to leave with a degree that everyone across the country recognizes. Engineering has been big for me. I've gotten some of my, top athletes who really want to pursue that engineering degree, where 5 of my athletes all have internships, paid internships this summer in engineering. So honestly, recruiting has been pretty easy once I get them on campus. Yep. And seeing how, beautiful it is in the buildings. Like, they love the engineering building. They love the science building. So it's honestly been pretty easy once I get them on campus.
And you find that your student athletes currently in your program are probably your best salespeople.
Yeah, because we've built a really good culture, though. So, it is about being honest, and it is about teaching recruits to read through, read between the lines, and read how players interact. And I tell the recruits what question, I'm like, hey, make sure you're asking them how I am on my worst day. Ask them how I am on my best day. Like, I go, we're salespeople. Right. So go ask them those things that you're concerned about, that you've had concerns about in the past. And their job is to be as honest as possible, because we do not want you to choose here unless it's for you.
So I know you're very active in the recruiting front right now. What is the reception you're getting from student athletes that are considering Purdue Northwest?
I think it's a very big surprise for them, in our conversations that we've had, very similar to what she was just mentioning. We've had 3 Division I transfers in the last week, and just to see, once they step on campus, just piggybacking what she said, between the people, where everything's, the trajectory is really important from both an academic and athletic standpoint. It's a hidden gem. It really is a hidden gem. And, there's not a day that goes by right now that I'm not surprised, or something that I learn where I'm like, man, I haven't even thought I could touch on this, that, and the third. So, we always have our recruiting pitches and what we've done in our backgrounds and where we think this program can go. But there's other parts of this school right now that we can sell that we're very excited about.
That's great. Marshall, you have been killing it on the recruiting front. Stunt roster, the last we talked, is up to from 25 to 35. So talk to me about how you and Coach Madison have gotten after it, and how you've sold the university.
Yeah, we've, this is a great area to recruit from. There's not a lot of other stunt programs in the area, but there's a heck of a lot of gymnastics and cheer, and I can convert them. We've been able to sell, like, this is something that we've built. Stunt didn't exist. So, year 1, it was build it. Year 2, it's like that underdog throwing punches. Year 3, probably continue to do that and establish ourselves as, like, a national power. We want to make this a mainstay in sport, and getting in early. There's 30-something teams to compete against right now in D2, but I could see this in 5 years. There's 150 teams, and getting in early like this, we've been able to tell girls, like, you can really, really make history quickly.
And the really cool thing about your roster is, I would say 99% of it is young women from the region.
Mm-hmm. Yep, no transfers, nothing. We've gone entirely from high schools in the area.
And it's just such a reflection of the strong gymnastics and cheerleading in Northwest Indiana.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Lake Central, Crown Point, Valpo, Lowell, LaPorte, yep, Portage, Chesterton, yeah. We've got a few from, got a couple from Illinois, Marshall, Illinois, has kind of been a surprising. We've got 4 athletes next year from there, so
Okay.
they're kind of starting to form a pipeline, and maybe we can expand a little bit that direction. But yeah, mostly within like a 45-minute drive.
Which has been creating awesome crowds at your events.
Yeah, we've had some pretty good crowds. I'd like to do some Thursday or Friday night games and get more students involved too, because family and staff have been like the primary people showing up. And we've got Mary's been great getting women's soccer out to all our games, and I've seen a lot of other teams too. But it would be great to see that student fan base come in and support too.
So along the recruiting lines, Colson, you're also a recruiter. We need a 5th athletic trainer. Tell me how those efforts are going.
They're good. We've had a couple of candidates this past week. Again, all of our staff is local. Myself, born and raised Valpo. We have Amy, who's from Hobart. We have Claire, who's from Crown Point, and Derek, who's also from Valpo. So kind of trying to keep it a little bit more local to serve our community is kind of a little bit of my goal, because there's not many people who decide to stay here that are from here. They decide to go other places, but the people that we have want to stay here and, again, serve our community, and I think that's kind of the way I'm going. But the candidates we have are really good, so it's making it tough to decide, but I'd like to keep it as local as
I
possible.
hear that athletic training has maybe turned the corner. People are through the master programs now, the full cycle, so there'll be more candidates in the pipelines going forward, which is great to hear.
For sure, yeah. We've tried to reach out to our own graduate programs. Amy and Claire are actually like right across the border at North Central and North Park, so trying to reach out to them to try to see if there's any more, again, local people, especially for our school, and then me all the way out in North Carolina. Not many people, but you get the odd person from the Midwest who want to come back here. So,
guys, let's talk about everybody's favorite topic with college sports, the transfer portal. Mary, your thoughts on the transfer portal? Good, bad, or indifferent?
Good and bad. I mean, it's definitely can be a little transactional. I imagine at the top, but realistically at our level, we're just getting different talent that's getting to choose D2. So to be fair, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed what it's added to the conference. We're seeing, just like I said, athletically and talent, like it's just growing. So to each their own. I didn't overlook this year. Realistically, like I had the right people that I reached out to, and that's how I found my fits. We only lost one senior, so I wasn't shooting a big net this year in the portal. And I know there's coaches who reach out to every single player in it. Everyone has a different approach, but realistically, like I like the people who have a connection to either Purdue Northwest, myself, or one of my players, and they want to come play for us.
We just talked to our hockey coaches putting a whole team together using the transfer portal. You're using the transfer portal to put a squad together. Tell me about your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's really good in a lot of areas, and then there's some things that you got to be careful about. And it's kind of that multi-transfer, person that is. You want someone that wants this place for the right reason, and to no stranger, which is one of the reasons I came here, is because I felt like I've had a 72-month lease on the transfer portal right now. Just every year putting a new roster together. My first year taking over, we had 3 returners, had to put a whole new group together in 5 weeks, and the benefit of that was to have the ability, right, to put 15 together. We were successful. We went 31-3, and last year we didn't have 1 minute return, so I had to put a whole new one together. We had 2 red shirts, so coming into this situation was nothing unfamiliar. Now we can not only sell, like I said, what we were able to do, but what the future of this program holds. So that adds a lot of value right now, and you have the opportunity to go after some really good players. And once you build that foundation, like they all said, now we can really tap into this area is loaded with talent. Whether it's the Chicagoland area, the Indiana, all the way to Michigan. We just signed a really, really good high school player out of Michigan. So tapping into those markets at a younger level helps. But yeah, that transfer portal right now really just kind of is the fuel to that fire to jumpstart, what you want right away. So yeah, I think right now it's a huge benefit for those that use it correctly. And then from there, once you're solidified, right, you can kind of branch out into other avenues.
Marshall, have you all taken a peek into the transfer portal?
Look a little bit. Yeah, there's definitely some really strong teams with some good athletes in the portal. But we've been so successful locally that I haven't really delved into reaching out to too many of those. That might be something that will grow with time in stunt. Our first year, there were 2 athletes nationwide in the transfer portal, 2. And I think this year there's something like 40, somewhere around there. So it's growing. But for now, I think it's a safer bet to get a 4-year local, and then going forward, maybe if we need a really specific position, we need one girl that has a full. Great, let's go find a girl that has a full. We can take her for her senior year.
Yep.
She could, but for now, I'm liking the prospect of a 4-year commitment.
Yep, that's great. Unlike college basketball and football, where it's like 50% of student athletes are in the transfer portal. Colson, let's talk a little bit about your arena, health and safety. What would you say is the number one thing that keeps you up awake at night as far as the health of our student athletes?
It's a loaded question.
Me practicing corners.
Yes. This spring with women's soccer, they just, I think it's just trying to think of different things that we could do for the kids, different things we could try to do to either help reduce risk of injury, albeit, screenings, different modalities we could use for different injuries. The teamwork that I have with the coaching staff over the last year and a half since I've been here has been fantastic. Working with Mary, working with Marshall, working with Sel from tennis, Jake from golf, just being able to modify things so that the kids are still able to do their sport. But it really is just like every night, it's just trying to think of, hey, I saw this injury. We're seeing a lot of this. What can we do? One as a staff, one as the coaches getting them involved, strength conditioning, even our physical therapists on staff. What can we do to kind of mitigate that? And hopefully the next season we don't have as many, let's say, quad strains or ankle sprains or whatever. What can we do as a staff to kind of help with that? So we're having less time sitting on the sideline with us and more time, playing for the coaches, which is the biggest thing, is giving the coaches the availability so that they have more players to choose from to give them the better chance to win. Because, unfortunately, at the end of the day, athletics is about winning. And as much as I love taking care of our kids and making sure they're healthy and whatnot, I want to help our coaches out, give them a better chance to win. So.
There's an old saying, the best players are the available players.
They are.
So you've shown me some of the data that you're looking at. I remember looking at it with on the women's side. I mean, that's fantastic, the data that you're looking at.
Yeah. It's something I picked up from a couple athletic trainers kind of on the pro side of things. My background is soccer, so I've just kind of, weaseled my way in, asked a lot of questions, and just kind of put some basic things together, and then taking it through the whole staff and try to use it for all the teams this year. So we're working through looking at what basketball did, how their injury rates were looking, how, stunt looked, how baseball looked, trying to look at track, even though they have so many athletes and so many other things, we're still trying to, go through that and kind of look at that to kind of review this summer and come back to our coach and be like, hey, Mary, we had a lot of hamstring issues this spring. What can we do over the summer to reach out to these girls to give them something, or what can we do in preseason to give them the better chance so that they're not missing the first 2 weeks, or with the Chris, the new coach coming in, hey, you have these girls coming in, what was their injury history look like, so that our basketball AT Amy could come in and be like, hey, let's do some prehab, let's change your warm up, let's see what strength conditioning we do to kind of help mitigate that.
It's got to be really helpful, right, Mary, to have that kind of information?
Oh, definitely. I mean, because even when the girls are unhappy that they haven't returned yet, he's showing them data, and it's no brainer, because then you could see it on when they're running. You can see where they're deficient in their hamstring numbers, and it's like, well, there it is, right there, where you're limping a little bit, right? So it's really cool to see the data back up what you're saying and know why.
So we only have a few seconds left in the show here. So my final question is, if you could go to any sporting event, I know you're coaches and you spend a lot of time, if you could go to any sporting event in the world, what would it be? Marshall, go ahead first.
Oh, geez. Anything? Let's go to Stunt National Championship.
All right.
With my team.
All right. There we go. Colson, any sporting event in the world?
Soccer fan, got to be either the World Cup, obviously coming in this summer.
Yep.
Obviously in the States.
Are you going?
Ticket prices are a little too
They're
high
coming
for my
down, I
liking,
hear.
But I would like to do one of the showing parties that might pop up in like a Chicago area, or I know like Valpo sometimes does it, something like that, just to kind of get the party aspect of it and watch a game on a big screen with all other fans. But
Yeah. All right, Chris Vincent, what event would you go to?
I think the one I would love to go to is the Masters. I'm a big golf guy. I like to pop a squat right on 15 green and watch the approach shots on the par 5. So right in the thick of things.
Is that Amen Corner?
Right after.
Okay.
Right after. But I know you got to get into the lottery and all that stuff. But that would be my one.
All right. Love it. Mary?
I'm going to preface that I've already been to the Women's World Cup final and watched U.S. win it in France.
Ooh.
So mine would be the Super Bowl because the concert would also be incredible. So I'd love to be at one of those live. I think that'd be so cool.
All right. That's great. Well, I appreciate you all joining me for this roundtable, talking about sports.
Thanks,
and it's been very enjoyable. Let's give a big shout out to our corporate champions that support the Pride. We got Domino's, Byway Brewing. Who does not love Byway Brewing? I mean, it's a great place to get some food and some refreshments. Purdue Federal Credit Union, Crew Car Wash, our newest corporate champion. They've been fantastic. B-Dubs right down the street from Byway Brewing. Played Against Sports, MJ Polish Deli, People's Bank, Laborers Local 41, Crazy Kaplan, Kyle Dempsey State Farm, House of Pizza. How about their pizza over there? Yeah.
I could go for some of that right now.
Little breakfast pizza.
Never too early.
All right. Signature Transportation, our hotel partners, our Courtyard Residence Inn, Fairfield Inn, Hampton Inn, Holiday Inn, and Home 2 Suites. Langle's Pizza. That's another good one right down there in Highland. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
South Shore CVA, thanks, Phil Tallum. We'll see you at the 10th anniversary gala coming up at the end of the month. Lithographics, Miller Pizza. Chris, you haven't had Miller Pizza yet. Langle's is good. House of Pizza is good. Miller's just as good. They're top notch. Reith Riley, Wintrust, Nipsco, Pepsi, Strack Van Til, big supporter of Purdue Northwest. Bibby Bop. We had Bibby Bop yesterday for lunch. Who wants to give the
Purple rice is weird, but it's good.
2 bowls.
Incredible.
2 bowls?
2 bowls.
Yeah, he did. He crushed
bowls.
it.
All right.
I'm going to second that as well. I did.
Did you have the yum yum sauce?
I didn't have any of the sauce. I just
Okay.
went, it was the rice and corn and some of those was that onions? I don't even know what that was. It was purple. It was good.
Yeah, it sure was.
Something was good.
Purple rice is the way to go. And our newest, you guys don't even know about this, our newest corporate champion is Super Submarine right down on Kennedy Avenue. Former men's soccer player Dominic Balderas is the owner. So they got great subs down there. Rush PT and orthopedic special. What's that?
I played with Dominic in high school.
All right, he'll be in my office this morning, so we'll have to reconnect you. They are some of the great supporters of PNW Athletics, so thank you to them. If you'd like to be a corporate champion, call me, Rick Costello, at 219-989-2540. Well, that wraps up the year. That wraps up PNW Athletics today. Thanks so very much, and when you see us back here again, I will be saying, Go Lions!